From rockets to riches, they announce the future like a done deal. But beneath the spectacle lies a quieter truth we've stopped examining, a truth that unravels the moment we dare to look past the performance. Elon Musk has spent the better part of a decade selling the idea that he alone can deliver humanity from its limitations. In the mythology he's built around himself, he is the visionary, the futurist, the world historic figure whose genius will propel us to new worlds and new destinies. It is a persona crafted from spectacle, certainty, and theatrics, not from results. And 2 recent interviews finally laid bare just how hollow that persona has become. A Forbes interview with senior editor Alan Onsman reveals the first crack in the facade, the cybercab. Musk's promised fully autonomous robo-taxi with no steering wheel, no pedals, no mirrors, no controls, and, as it turns out, no legal path to existence. It is a product that exists only in PowerPoints, renderings, and Musk's voice. The real world, with its regulations, engineering standards, and physics, has not been invited. Onsman notes the obvious. The US federal motor vehicle safety standards explicitly require all the equipment Musk insists the cybercab will not have. When Onsman contacted federal regulators at the NHTSA to ask whether Tesla had applied for the exemption required to even test such a vehicle on public roads, their response was stunning in its simplicity. Tesla had never contacted them at all, not once. The agency responsible for approving the car's entire reason for existing, a car with no human controls, has not received so much as an email. Yet Musk is promising production by April, as though regulation, engineering readiness, and basic feasibility are quaint bureaucratic inconveniences that mere mortals must respect, but he may transcend by proclamation. And it gets more absurd when one looks back at Tesla's most recent earnings call. Musk pitched the cybercab not as an experiment, not as an aspirational project, but as Tesla's next colossal money printing machine. He told shareholders the cybercab would reach volume production in 2026, and that Tesla was aiming for at least 2 million units a year, maybe 4 million ultimately. A product that does not legally exist, that cannot be produced, sold, or operated under current federal rules, was presented as the anchor of Tesla's future financial horizon. Musk described it as the company's biggest production expansion over the next 24 months and the single biggest driver of future value. The cybercab was not merely a prototype, it was the promised land. You would not make such a plan unless your technology was rock solid, Onsman observed. And then he delivered the line that pried open the illusion. That is not the case with Tesla. This fundamentally is the problem with Musk. He doesn't just exaggerate, he constructs entire financial futures, investor expectations, and public mythologies on technologies he hasn't built, systems he hasn't tested, and permissions he hasn't obtained. His claims are presented with such force and confidence that many people simply assume they must be grounded in something. Surely, a man pitching a multi-million unit per year robo-taxi fleet would have already cleared the trifling detail of whether such a vehicle is legal, or functional, or real. But the spell persists, because Musk's bravado is stronger than people's skepticism. In another corner of the media landscape, Neil deGrasse Tyson was calmly dismantling Musk's other great fantasy, the idea that colonizing Mars is essential for the long-term survival of consciousness. Tyson, appearing on Piers Morgan's show, offered a perspective grounded not in billionaire rhetoric, but in the actual history of human civilization. Humanity undertakes monumental, ruinously expensive projects when survival demands it, or geopolitical fear compels it. Never because a wealthy man believes it's the next logical step. He traced the arc from the pyramids to the Manhattan Project to the Apollo missions, showing that our biggest collective endeavors have always been driven by a sense of threat, not by the whims of an individual with a fleet of rockets. Then Tyson delivered the argument that punctures the Mars mythology completely. If humanity ever develops the capacity to terraform Mars, to manufacture an atmosphere, to build a functioning biosphere, to shield the planet from radiation, to heat its surface, and to sustain life, we will already possess more than enough knowledge and technological mastery to repair Earth itself. It would be easier by orders of magnitude to stabilize the climate here than to fabricate one from scratch on a frozen, airless desert. In other words, Musk's dream does not solve the problem he claims it solves. It merely evades it. Tyson put it plainly: if you have the technology and the power to terraform Mars, then you have the power to fix Earth. Musk's admirers rarely engage with this logic. Instead, they appeal to his wealth, his bravado, his supposed refusal to think small. Piers Morgan indulged in this fantasy with gusto, calling Musk a brilliant engineer and insisting that his staggering wealth and ambition make Mars colonization inevitable. But Tyson gently recoiled from this logic, pointing out that wealth and engineering talent do not magically erase political history, economic reality, or the laws of physics. If Musk does manage to build his Mars outpost, Tyson noted, it will not be because it makes sense as a project of survival or progress. It will simply be because he wants to. A vanity project, Tyson said, carefully emphasizing that he did not mean the word as an insult, although the accuracy stung all the same. Taken together, these two interviews expose the same truth from different angles. Musk's empire is made of smoke and mirrors, held aloft not by achievement but by confidence. His power lies not in what he has built, but in what people believe he will build. Investors, journalists, politicians, and even highly educated observers have been seduced, not by evidence, but by the intoxicating simplicity of a savior narrative. A man who sells destiny is far more compelling than a man who delivers quarterly results. And Musk understands this instinctively. He knows that in the age of social media, confidence is indistinguishable from competence, and spectacle is more persuasive than truth. And here, the parallel to Donald Trump becomes painfully clear. Both men wield confidence as if it were competence. Both speak in sweeping, self-authoritative declarations that collapse under scrutiny, but survive because they are delivered with such bombastic certainty that followers don't dare look down for the floor beneath them. Trump, even as his approval ratings sink to record lows, still proclaims without hesitation and without shame that he has the highest approval ratings of any president. The numbers contradict him. The voters contradict him. The press contradicts him. But none of that matters when the performance of dominance was the entire point. Musk does the same thing, but with futurism instead of politics. His cybercab pitch is Trumpian in this sense. A bold, reality-free claim delivered with such monumental self-assurance that shareholders just nod along as if they're receiving prophecy rather than salesmanship. Both men rely on an audience conditioned to take confidence as truth and bombast as brilliance. That is the deeper rot, the cultural reflex to confuse certainty with genius, spectacle with substance, proclamation with plan. Social media has supercharged this confusion, turning both men into avatars of self-mythologizing, each broadcasting directly to millions of followers who amplify their delusions, defend their contradictions, and treat their fantasies as evidence of destiny. The result is a kind of messiah culture that rewards theatrical claims over verifiable competence. Musk promises a robo-taxi fleet that cannot legally exist. Trump promises approval ratings he does not have. And both men, in their own spheres, construct entire realities out of assertions that evaporate the instant they meet data. Trump tells Americans he has ushered in the hottest economy in the history of the world, that there is no inflation, and that millions of new jobs have materialized from his policies. And, most fantastically, that his tariff plan is generating $21 trillion in investment and federal revenue. This is not just an exaggeration. It's mathematically impossible. Tariffs are not investments. Tariffs are taxes. In the Trump-era economy, now weighed down by retaliation, contraction, and unemployment spikes, bears no resemblance to the euphoric paradise he describes on Truth Social. Yet millions believe him, not because his claims withstand examination, but because he delivers them with the cadence of gospel in a country where truth is optional and bravado is a political currency. The man who speaks with the greatest volume becomes the one who commands the greatest faith. It does not matter that independent economists, federal records, and basic arithmetic contradict him. It does not matter that the hottest economy is cooling, that real wages are lagging, that prices are rising, that investment is fleeing instability rather than flocking to it. It does not matter because the spectacle is the story. And Trump performs prosperity the way that Musk performs innovation, with the unblinking conviction that if they say it boldly enough, their followers will not dare look down at the missing floorboards beneath them. This is the deeper danger, not merely that two powerful men lie, but that we have built an ecosystem in which confidence outranks competence, charisma outranks truth, and salvation is expected to arrive via proclamation rather than policy. Musk can sell the future on the back of non-existent technology, and Trump can sell prosperity on the back of non-existent numbers. Their followers do not require proof, they require belief. The Messiah myth demands not verification but devotion. And both men understand, instinctively, perhaps pathologically, that the surest path to power is not through accuracy, but through certainty. And so the fantasies grow. Musk insists his yet-to-be-engineered robots will create universal abundance. Trump insists his yet-to-materialize tariffs will create universal wealth. Musk promises fleets of autonomous vehicles before regulators have seen a form. Trump promises millions in federal revenue before the Treasury has seen a single new dollar. Both cultivate the same illusion, that the future can be summoned by the force of their personality alone. And millions embrace this illusion, not because it aligns with the world they inhabit, but because it offers an escape hatch from that world. One in which their chosen figurehead rescues them from uncertainty with miracles that sound suspiciously like slogans. But the planet cannot survive on slogans. The climate cannot be stabilized by confidence. The economy cannot be rebuilt on delusion. The work ahead, painful, urgent, unglamorous, requires an honesty neither Musk nor Trump possesses. It requires a collective rejection of the idea that salvation arrives by a single man shouting over the evidence. It requires an end to the Messiah culture that has hollowed out public trust and replaced it with theatrics. The fantasies have had their run. Reality is calling, and Earth, battered and burning, cannot wait for men who believe they can bend the laws of physics or economics by the sheer force of their certainty.